What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Replayer Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Morris, and joining me is my co-host, Pagan.
Oh, hello!
Hello! How are you doing, well?
Good, you?
Oh, fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. Anywho, joining us this week, we have Kevin and Jess. Hello, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hello.
What's up, guys?
Hey, guys.
Hi, guys.
I feel like it should be one of those old, podcast callbacks where we're like, yay, Kevin. Yay, Jesse. Like...
I mean, no one's ever said you can't do that, Pagan, so have at it.
That's true.
I'll give you the little...
It's repetitive and annoying, but...
Yay! New replayers on the Replayer Podcast this week. And
yes!
With that, guys, we ask you to tell us how you found Retro Replay, what it means to you. You know, give us a little bit of a tidbit of how you came to know of the show. Let's start with Jess.
Okay. Well, I actually found the show through Jacksepticeye.
Hey, Ashley did the same thing. Cool.
Really?
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the
He
first.
shouted it out on one of his videos. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was just before Spider-Man video went live. It was
Cool.
either just before or just after that Spider-Man video went live.
Really?
And yeah, so I've been there from the beginning, but it's tell you what, it's been a hell of a ride. I mean, they started in mid 2018? Already mid March 2020. Where the hell is the time going?
Right?
I know, level 3, right?
God. And they've changed so much over those 2 years, it's ridiculous.
It really has.
But yeah, no, I found them through Jacksepticeye 2 years ago, and I tell you what, I haven't found a better community than this.
Right.
Yay.
Number one.
I mean, controversial opinion, though. Like, are we better than Jacksepticeye?
Hey.
community? Hey.
Fight me.
We won't go there. They're equally amazing. Jacksepticeye is Irish, so I stand by him.
Yeah.
I claim him. We claim Jacksepticeye.
I still have not watched any of his stuff.
You have not watched any Jacksepticeye videos? Go educate yourself, Dan. He's amazeballs.
What is...
Great.
Amazeballs.
My inner Italian that I have absolutely no Italian in me, but there you go.
It's okay. As an Italian, I give you permission.
Thank you so much.
go.
Thank you. See? Look at
Honorary
that.
Italian.
There you go.
Hey.
All right, let's move on to Kevin. Give us a little backstory, sir.
Yeah, I actually somehow found them via their podcast, their audio podcast of the show. So they do an
Really?
audio. It's called Retro Rewind, and it's
Interesting.
literally an audio recording of the show.
Right.
Because I had been commuting a lot, and I'd run out of content to listen to, and I was searching for stuff, and like, holy shit, these guys have a podcast, and realized, through the, halfway through the first episode that they're doing stuff that I can't see. And I've never been somebody that uses YouTube, right? So I've never been all over YouTube. I'm an old man, and I don't use young people things.
Young people things.
And
That's cute.
and so I found them on YouTube.
Where is that?
Middle of
The
last-
World Wide Web?
Yeah, the
Do
internet.
you call that the internets?
Intertubes. But yeah. So I found them midway through last year. Don't remember which episode, to be honest. But I started just binging the hell out of it. I went back and started from the beginning once I found them, and then I didn't even know there was memberships on YouTube because I didn't know anything about YouTube. So I didn't actually become an actual member until end of last year. And then joined a Facebook group, and then ended up in the Discord, and I'm here.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Happy to have you, buddy. Happy to have you
Yeah.
both.
100%.
Like
Yeah.
I speak for the community. On behalf of the community. We'd like to thank you for being.
I want to say that that's super interesting because in retrospect, we were doing our podcast when they started doing their podcast, and we talked about the fact that they have a podcast version of the show
Yeah.
on our podcast.
Yeah, we started a podcast before they did.
We
That's
have
funny,
We
'cause I
gave
never
them the
knew that they-
inspiration. Yeah, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Never
still
knew
want
they
the
had a
commission.
podcast.
Really?
Never knew.
Mhm.
Ah,
I'm
yeah, because
only
they.
just now hearing about it because of Kevin.
Oh no
Yeah.
way!
It's a lot better to listen to when
The
you've seen
funny
the
world.
episode, because otherwise it's
Yes.
a little weird.
Well, like
Yeah.
Kevin,
that's
like Kevin said, it's literally just an audio recording of the show. They don't
Mhm.
really do anything different.
They
They
do an
might add in the
intro
little blurbs in the beginning and
Yeah.
end,
Yeah.
but otherwise it's a rip of the audio from the show, so you can listen to it rather than watch it.
Which is so interesting because when they did come out with a podcast, we actually spoke about it on our podcast, and we were saying, like, I don't know how, like, it works so well for replayers who want to rewatch the episode but are commuting, and we're like, oh yeah, let me just listen to it back.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I was like, but as a standalone, like, podcast, is it okay that you can't see it, like, that it's visual? Like, does it still work? And it really does, because I've used it to commute as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Once you've
really
seen it, it
interesting.
does. It was weird because not having seen the show, I didn't understand what was happening when I heard the text typing.
Oh,
You know,
yes.
like when Drew's sending the messages, I had no idea who Drew was, no idea that there's somebody off to the side putting up notes for them and for the
You didn't know
know,
the
for the
god that
fans.
makes it work behind the scenes.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Drew
the
is
man
retro
behind the curtain.
replay. Yeah. Brian Nolan or just the
For me,
Yeah.
because I've listened back to those retro rewind episodes, and if you listen to the original episodes and they were playing like, say, like Space Invaders or something, you're just hearing the bleep bloop blop bloop bloop bloop, and it's like, okay, I can hear that they're playing a game, but you don't
Mhm.
see
Yeah.
any of that, and then you get the reactions from Troy and Nolan about what's happening, which, like Pagan mentioned, when you're a replayer and you've seen those episodes, it's easy to listen to that audio and it's just replaying it in your head.
Mhm.
So you automatically know what's happening. You see it without having to actually physically see it. Because even before they did the podcast, I would still listen to the YouTube episodes without looking at them.
Yeah. And I think, like, this is going to sound real weird, but, like, you absorb more content when you go back. Makes sense? Because,
Mhm.
like, you're obviously
Yeah.
you're so distracted visually. A lot of stuff going on. Stats and there. Whereas if you're listening to it back, you might pick up something before. It's always great. I like that. Something new to look for occasionally. And now, of course, they do the intros and then the outros read by the themselves who are on membership level. That's cool.
It's sure.
That's always nice.
So it was, I believe one of you guys already mentioned that you got into the replayer community. Kevin, you said you got in the Facebook and the Discord. What about you, Jess?
Yes, I am in the Discord. I am a member. I didn't even know about the site until, oh god, a month ago.
Oh,
I
really? The
forgot when it was
Discord?
mentioned. No, the site, the actual website, the Retro Replay
Oh,
site.
sorry.
Their
yeah.
actual website.
Yeah, I didn't even know they had one.
Hmm.
I had no clue until about a month ago.
But you've
Just
been there
watching
all
the
along
YouTube
from the
videos,
beginning.
like,
Right.
nonchalant, be like, hey, listen, I was there from the beginning, and it was only like a year and a half in where I was like, YouTube is live? When did the interwebs go live? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is this happening? So, like, I completely understand. I understand you. Same boat.
Well, see, I always live under a rock, so it's kind of hard to, expand out from that.
I just never thought of it. Like, I don't think I ever watched something live. So if I hadn't watched it live, I wouldn't have known about it. And it wasn't like it was published anywhere that I was already following. So it's like, oh, cool, a new YouTube video. Go watch it like any other subscriber to another channel.
Yeah.
Then it blew up when I found out that it was live and like there was Discord and everything. I was like, God. Typing on every single social media platform that I could find. Anything. Fucking
Yeah, I just wish
Bebo.
it
I was
was
there. I was
live.
like, come on, Bebo, let's bring it back.
Yeah.
MSN Messenger, AOL.
How do you have like multiple computers at the same time, Pagan? You're just like spamming.
I have
every-
multiple arms. I'm
spamming
Irish. I'm
every
a myth,
platform.
myth and legend. Myth and legend. What can I say?
Okay.
So stupid.
Is that
I don't
like
know what
is
to
that
say
like
to that, but
Nessie,
okay.
like Loch Ness monster, or
Absolutely. I
okay,
just have
those
a lot
are
of fingers in every pie. I'm like, I want everything.
back to the
want to
fingers in the
connect with
pie.
everybody.
That's a throwback to like episode 5 of the podcast.
Really is. Really is. Wow.
God.
You're getting retro on this Replayer podcast.
Sure are.
Cheapers. We sure are.
Not so retro is our replayer questionnaire.
Mhm.
Boom, segue.
Nice segue.
So
Bring
what
it
we
in.
do, guys, is we just have a few basic little questions just to get to know you guys a little bit, especially because replayers like learning about other replayers. So that's what we do here. That's why we're here. So Question number 1. Do you consider yourself a gamer? We'll start with Kevin on this one.
Yeah, I do, but I'm definitely more of a casual gamer.
Mhm.
I play a game in most cases play a game one time. I don't replay a lot of games. I play most games on easy because I'm just old.
This
I
is
don't have
me.
I don't
Nothing
have the
shameful about
skills.
that.
This
Yeah,
is so me. Damn, this is me.
yeah. And so what I found a couple years back was that those of us in the U.S. probably have a better understanding of it. But I found GameFly, and it's like $18 a month, and they send you a game from a list of games that you create, and depending on what's available, they'll send it to you. And I found that was perfect for me because when I do get a game, I'll play it for an hour or two a night, and I can finish most games within a week or two. So all of a sudden, I'm paying $18 a month for 2 games that I'm not going to replay, and that works out really well for me. It's pretty inexpensive.
Sure.
I do have games like The Last of Us and Horizon Zero Dawn, and some of those games that are the bigger, the AAA games and stuff that I'll keep. And then listening to your show finally convinced me to make my Xbox useful, and I signed up for Game Pass Ultimate.
Yay.
So
I was
they're
already
taking
about to
over
say,
the-
like,
Ah.
that's like the new Game Pass is like what Gamefly was.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. So that's pretty cool too. So I've got both of those.
Mhm.
So I'm always playing something, but I'm not hardcore. Like I finally played The Last of Us on Grounded for the first time in my life,
Oh,
and that
God.
may be the first time I've ever played a game on anything
Oh
beyond.
my god.
Um,
Couldn't you have picked an easier game? Jeepers.
I
On Grounded is
all
so
the-
difficult.
it's hard, but really it's all about patience.
Mhm.
It's all
That's
about
really what it
figuring out
is.
the routines and things like that. So I mean, I died a lot. I died a significant number of
Yeah.
times, but I did finish it.
It's
So that
all
was
about
really
patience, and that's even going
Yeah.
to like the Uncharted games on the harder difficulties. You
Mhm.
just got to be patient as hell, essentially.
And see, for me, those games are different because The Last of Us, like Grounded, felt like a realistic, like version of what would happen. Uncharted, I just want
Sure.
to blow everybody up.
Well, you
So
can
I'll play
even
it on
make
easy,
the
just kill everybody.
you can make the statement that Grounded, it is like it's grounded in
Yeah.
realism.
Yeah,
It's
for
realistic.
sure.
It's a realistic difficulty. If you get shot, you're pretty much dead. Like you
Right.
don't just keep running through getting shot like you do in most video games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good point. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
What did you think grounded meant?
Fucking hard.
So it's putting you in the ground. It's
Also
killing
true.
you.
Basically what I thought it. Yeah. You're going to be in the ground. Goodbye.
You're
Yeah.
dead.
Take care. Yeah.
You're getting buried, essentially.
Basically. Like, just.
I know your pain, Kevin. I know your pain.
Yeah. Yeah. It
I'm
was
sorry
fun.
you had to go through that.
Yeah. It was fun though. Like I do have to admit, like there. I mean, the number of times that I rage quit for the day was very high, but it was fun in the end to get through it.
See, now I do appreciate a good difficult game if the challenge is appropriate, and like I mentioned this many times, the satisfaction you get from beating a difficult game is just like there's very few things that compare to that.
Yeah. Yeah. I really just don't play games for difficulty. I play for story. That's why my favorite games are story-based games or games that had a great story.
That is so me, Kevin. You're singing my theme tune, buddy. That is me. I just play on the bitch baby version. I don't care if it's like I just want to play on the easiest difficulty. I don't want challenge. I don't need it in my life. I don't need the stress.
Yeah.
So let's throw it on to Jess.
Jesse.
Yes. Well, yes and no, because I'm somewhere in between casual and competitive. I do like competitive games, but I do enjoy the casual experience of story-based games, and they are some of my favorite games to play, like The Last of Us, or unfortunately, I haven't been able to play Uncharted. I haven't had the privilege to play Uncharted, so I haven't gotten to play those. But The Last
you are
of
in
Us,
for a treat.
So, from what I hear, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Last of Us, Jedi Fallen Order, that one really caught my attention just because of the universe itself plus the story. What other good games were out there that?
There's lots.
Oh yeah,
plenty.
I mean, too many to name, but
Really?
yeah, I'm kind of somewhere in between, so I don't really know
Well,
what to really classify
some of
myself
these
as.
further questions we have might get a little bit more difficult for you, but
But
we'll see.
just in general, you said that you were like competitive games. Do you mean like online competitive playing?
Yeah, online competitive like Overwatch or Apex or
You play Overwatch?
yeah,
Damn.
I love Overwatch.
We have
McCree's my
Overwatch
guy.
groups. We will do it. Really?
Yes,
I'm a Moira person. I'm definitely getting there. Now, I say I'm a Moira person. Might
See, now-
might I add, I'm level 11.
Pagan's getting
So-
on the whole Overwatch bandwagon 4 years after the game came out.
I know,
5
and you
years.
know what? It's great. I'm so excited. But then, like, I mean, hey, I've never played online games before, and you know this, Dan. So, I played Borderlands, and that was it. And then my friends were like, "Hey, get Overwatch and play," and I was like, "Cool." And it's the best thing ever. So I really enjoyed that. So
See, on that note, I'm looking forward to playing Bleeding Edge, which is going to be like Microsoft's like competitive Overwatch kind of game
oh,
that comes out on Game Pass next week.
Ooh, okay,
okay,
nice.
okay. I see you. Play.
Yeah.
Sounds like
Because
game,
now I have
game
Game
mode
Pass.
die a lot.
I don't want to rebuy Overwatch. Wink, wink, hint, hint.
Right. Okay. Well, just like hit me up when it's out, and then I'll. we can-
But I will probably do
I'll be
that if
checking
it
that too.
means playing with all my homies who are playing it. So
There you
yeah,
go.
there's a lot in the replayer community that are now jumping on Overwatch. So
Yeah.
like, keep an eye out.
yeah, I have Overwatch on PC and I had it on Xbox. So PS4 is the last thing.
Ah,
If I catch
okay.
it like on sale, I might snag it or something.
I got
Anywho.
mine from like something called EX here, Cash Exchange, and it was like €20.
Hmm.
And in the UK, I think it's like 10 to 15 pounds. So maybe you might catch it on somewhere in one of your
I'm sure if I
Oh wow.
was
Okay.
trying, I could find it at a good price, but I'm not trying that hard, honestly.
Oh, try harder.
If I'm buying it,
No
I'm going to
problem.
buy it digital, so we'll see.
Oh, okay, fair.
So next question
that's
for
what
you
I did.
guys is, what's your preferred platform? And we'll do it backwards this time. Just to Kevin.
Yes.
PC for sure. Used to be a console guy. I started off on a Super Nintendo when I was young.
Oh,
Then it went to an Xbox, the 360 when that came out back in, what was it, 06?
Yeah, I think so. 05, 06.
a while ago.
Yeah, like half my lifetime ago.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's been-
So I went to that. Then I came to PC, and I don't know. I find the mouse and keyboard a lot more stable, I guess would be the correct word. Just because I feel like I have more control over my actual motions in the game.
Especially
As
if you're
opposed to
playing like
playing on a
competitive
controller.
first-person shooters, that makes
Yeah.
perfect sense.
Exactly.
Like
Yeah.
I've played Overwatch on PC, and it's a completely different experience than playing it on console.
Yeah,
See,
I
I
was
would.
playing.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I've never played
Mhm.
PC games, so I would be really.
Really? I thought you did play some stuff on PC.
No, I haven't. I'm building a PC. I
Getting there.
I am ordering parts. Getting there. I just have to commit. It's more like my fear that the parts won't match, even though like I do thorough research and make sure properly. But something in my heart is like, don't do it.
Mm.
It could all be a bust. So I'm like, oh, but I will do it. And then as soon as I do, popping Windows on that bad boy and like going onto Steam, being like, download everything. Here's my life savings.
Well, Kevin, I know you said before that you're an IT guy.
hmm
Do you know hardware? Like a lot of hardware specs?
I don't. I when I get hardware for people, I let the professionals at Dell and HP and all
Okay.
those places
Ask them about
configure
it.
But
I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
suggest either me or him for hardware, but
Ah,
yeah,
okay.
I mean, if you ever have questions, don't be afraid to ask.
Yeah.
I
I've
will.
built-
I'll
I've
just
built a
send you my
couple of-
specs and be like, what do you think?
I've built a couple of computers before too, but again, I did the
Okay,
same thing
there you
where
go.
I researched to make sure that all the things I got
Yeah.
played together.
Right.
I didn't
Yeah.
want to do like what you did, but it's been a couple of
Yeah.
years, so I couldn't tell you. I don't know current modern parts and everything.
Right. I'll figure it out. I'm fairly
Mhm.
sure they all work, but I'd rather just have someone be like, yes, they do.
Of course.
So
Yeah.
that when I buy it, I can call that person and be like, fuck you, that doesn't work. So
Just be really
Exactly,
careful
have
if
somebody else
you're
to blame.
inserting the processor chip into the motherboard.
Yeah.
Don't
Oh, yeah.
mess that up.
Yeah.
That's
I've
the
watched
easiest
like
thing to
1,000 Lioness tech videos. I'm not gonna lie. Like that's all I watched lately, and it's pretty hilarious because I went to visit my friend in London recently. came in the morning and I was like, hey, I was just watching YouTube. She's like, cool, what are you watching? And I was like, PC builds by Lioness Tech Tips. She was like, because she's all like makeup and bloggers and like what's the latest trend on fashion and makeup and all this. She's like it's like my soul now. I'm like just looking up AMD processors and I'm like, please.
Yeah.
Let me know. Sorry, but go ahead. So you're a PC guy altogether. What was your console before you went to the PC? Xbox?
My Xbox, yeah.
360.
Yeah, I had the 360, then I went to PC. PC I first started going to in 2011.
Oh.
Yeah, 2011. So I've been on PC for about 9 years, but
And
I
guess
did have a
what,
PlayStation
Pagan?
in that.
He can now play Death Stranding and Horizon Zero Dawn.
I know.
Yes, I am excited for that.
And Detroit Become Human.
Hmm.
Also on
I
PC.
have that already.
But okay, so that was the thing that I was gonna say real quickly before we move on to you, Kevin. Sorry, honey.
That's all right.
Do you ever feel like you're missing out on console exclusives?
For certain ones, yes. For certain ones that I'm looking at, and I'm like, okay, I really want that. Like Doom Eternal. I'm
Yes.
glad that that's on PC, just because that is a game that I've enjoyed immensely. Rip and
Okay.
tear until it is done.
And of course, Doom originated on PC. You know, that's where
Exactly.
Doom made its home.
Yeah.
So
That's
yeah, I mean, for
interesting.
stuff like Horizon Zero Dawn, I did feel left out because I don't own a PS4 anymore. So I did feel kind of left out when I
Play some
wasn't able to
Zelda.
play that or.
I thought you were just literally
It's
rubbing
just-
your chest to be like,
I thought at first too, but then I saw Link
Pagan,
and I was like,
that's
okay.
what you gotta do if you want that Pornhub.
boobs.
That's how you get the ratings
I
up.
need to rip the thing and just like rip it right between the T and the R and be like, Pornhub sponsor us.
God.
That's a running joke now.
All
Sorry.
right, let's move on.
Sorry, we'll move on.
Yeah, so I am primarily a PlayStation user. PS4
I won
is
again!
my
Whiteboard.
Yeah, I need to
Yeah.
start marking it off. That's amazing.
PS4 is my jam. It just comes down to the exclusives. I every time I look, the games that I want to play are the ones that are on the PlayStation. I own both. I've had, I think since the 360 and the PlayStation 3, I've had both. I just find myself playing on the PlayStation a lot more. Just like I said, because of the exclusives. When I was a kid, my first system was a hand-me-down Atari. I had like Pole Position and Pitfall and stuff like that. And then the first system that I bought myself was the Nintendo Entertainment System.
NES.
Yep.
The
And
NES?
Don't you
then
Don't you dare.
yeah, and then Super Nintendo. Skipped
my
to GameCube. I was almost out of gaming. I was almost done gaming. But I worked for probably don't have them in the UK, but I worked for Kmart out here, and then
Oh,
Kmart
I know
started,
what Kmart is.
Yeah, and they started to shut down. Like they were in trouble, and so the store that I was at was going out of business. And I had a really cool manager that said, "Well, let's just pretend that this PlayStation makes it to like our 50% off sale days." So I got a PlayStation, Final Fantasy VII, and MLB The Show 95, I think it was, all for like $120 or something. And so Final Fantasy VII got me back into gaming. Like I was done, and then Final Fantasy VII was like the big thing, and after that I was hooked again. So I had the PlayStation. I had the PlayStation 2. I had a Dreamcast, which was
one of
a
those.
system that very sadly went away. That was a cool system.
I still have my Dreamcast. It's in the other room.
Is it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was a great system.
It's got Seaman in it.
Well, it was the first one to have the internet. It was the first one to have a network connection.
Really?
Yeah.
Funny story about the Dreamcast is Microsoft helped Sega build the architect for the Dreamcast, and because of that, that's what got Microsoft making consoles. That's what got them to develop the Xbox, because they helped.
Oh.
The Dreamcast runs on a modified version of Windows.
Cool.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't either.
That is cool. Yeah. Well, and that's the same thing with Sony and Nintendo. If it wasn't for the fallout between Sony and Nintendo, we wouldn't have the PlayStation right now.
Yep, exactly.
But
Thank
yeah,
God for that.
yeah, yeah. So now I do not PC game. I'm a Mac user at home. I just like Macs better. So
Evan,
I play
what are
on
you
my.
doing to me?
Oh,
God.
You have a
I
Mac.
have to make
buddy.
somebody's day.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Um,
PlayStation user, story-based gameplay on easy mode,
Yep.
Mac, Apple OS.
Yep.
You my buddy, bro. You are my
Yep.
buddy.
It's the way to live.
Yeah, bub. Yep.
So, next question that's going to probably be a little bit more difficult is, do you have a favorite game? You can be general if that's too hard to pinpoint.
I've already
No,
got
we're
it.
gonna ask you. We're gonna ask you what's your favorite game. Jesse, go ahead.
I've already got it. The Last of Us. I know it's a generic answer.
It's a good choice. Listen, you
it
can
is a
You're
good
not
never
going to have
fault
anyone
that.
argue with you, especially not in this community.
I know.
No.
The whole reason behind it, though, is that was a really hard time in my life when it came
Mhm.
out. It came out in 2013. That was 2 years after my mother's death. So
Mm.
I was just losing my house. I had to move in with family. Everything was just going tits up. Use the language. It was
No.
all going tits up. So
What are you
We're an
fucking
18
talking
plus
about?
podcast. You can throw a fuck in there if you want.
Okay,
We're allowed
So you know.
4 F-bombs. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. You can just go nuts.
You can throw them in. Go ahead.
yeah. So it coming at that hard of a time in my life when I needed something to just, I want to say escape into, but that's not really the right phrase. But
Mhm.
I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all know what I'm talking about.
It's
Oh, yeah.
more
When I
like
say
you're
that-
investing in something. You
Right.
just wanted something to be
Mhm.
passionate or interested in again. Yeah,
Right.
I get you.
So yeah, that coming at that time in my life, it was one of those things where not only did it have such a great story and great characters, but
It had a lot of
having
heart to
something-
it, too.
right, so having something that you can just relate to and I guess feel, not tangibly, but just emotionally and mentally.
Hmm.
That's something that really it grips you really, really hard.
Oh, for sure. No, I totally understand that. And I have a little thing, if I can go on a little tangent, I want to add to that idea is, obviously, we're going through kind of like a planet-wide crisis right now with this coronavirus thing. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's like a big surgence on the internet of people being like, they should release The Last of Us 2 so that I can play The Last of Us 2 when everyone's supposed to be quarantined and stuck at home. I feel like that would be a little too close to home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be a little on the nose.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
On the
want to
nose.
play a game about a pandemic that caused the fall of humanity while we're currently possibly
In a
on the
pandemic,
doorstep of that.
causing the fall
Yeah.
of
Like,
humanity. Yeah.
let's not do that. Like, I'll wait
Yeah.
for The Last of Us when things are bright and sunny outside again. So when I'm like, oh, too much Last of Us, I can step outside and be like, oh, good. The world is still good.
Right.
Yeah,
Humanity is
it's
still here.
there. Yeah. Man, that's
Okay.
great. Thank you so much for
Yeah.
sharing that.
Thank you again.
Anything about that, it's difficult to talk about those kind of things as well. And I think a lot of people in the community have had those kind of times where you just don't know what somebody's going through. It's either a loss or abuse or something. And these games have saved lives.
Yeah.
Games have
Yeah.
changed lives and saved lives and touched people in so many different ways. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that, man. That's
Yeah,
cool.
absolutely. And I know there's plenty of replayers out there that The Last of Us means much the same to them, if not other games as well. If it's Uncharted or
Right.
whatever, it's always special when a game can do that for you and help you through a tough time. And we've had
Yeah.
other guests on the show share similar occurrences, and that's great to hear.
Good. And it's just a testament to Naughty Dog and their work and Ruckman
Yeah.
and guys that are involved. So
They've always been one of my favorite companies. So
yeah,
it's no surprise that one of their games is one of my favorite games.
good. And you know what? You have so many more to experience now because of Uncharted. So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
gonna be a great time for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So we can
Yeah,
throw it on
Kevin?
to Kevin.
Yeah. So not to just jump on the horse, but The Last of Us is my favorite game.
All right, I'm out.
But yeah, I know.
The next question
I
is
know.
going to be real fun.
Yeah, no, but the Last of Us for me got me right away because my daughter was around the same age. She's a couple years older than Sarah was in that opening scene,
That must have been
and
tough.
so as a dad of a daughter, I was like I could feel it, and as you know, I mean, the game is so well done that I mean, you really do feel that stuff anyway. So when that happens, when Henry and Sam die, you know, all these moments in the game are just so impactful. And it was a testament to what Naughty Dog was doing when they were making that game. It was an experience more than it was a game. And I don't think, even for as much as I loved Uncharted, because I don't think I would have played The Last of Us, at least not right away, if I hadn't played Uncharted 2. Which was also a big story game with motion capture and all this stuff. And then, you know, the Last of Us was the swan song of the PlayStation 3. But yeah, I mean, it was just, I've never seen a game done like that before. And I think if you get wrapped up in it, it's an experience that I don't think you find anywhere else. And that's why, like, it's funny because I've had a lot of conversations with people about the HBO show that they're talking about doing. And I realized, talking to one of my friends, that she's never going to play The Last of Us. She doesn't play video games. She's never going to play it. And so this might be the only way she gets to see that story. So if they do a good job,
very possibly,
it's an opportunity to go through that again in a different way for people that wouldn't have experienced it otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, that's a good point to bring up, to add on to that. I didn't think of it that way, because until you said that, I was very conflicted about the show coming to HBO and how they were going to do it, even though Neil Druckmann himself said that he's, you know, going to be working closely with them on the script and all that. So, yeah, you know what? This could be a good opportunity to share, you know, what means a lot to me with other people who may not play games, or, you know, who may not get to experience that.
It's a really good view, and I think, like, there's definitely conflicting opinions online where it's like, this is the only way some people experience that. Like, this is the way to experience children. And
I have
it won't be
opinions myself.
Yeah, it won't be as
from
like
day to day.
good, or it won't be as in depth, or maybe they'll miss something instead of playing an experience. But I understand that, like, this is the way to share that. I am still personally of the opinion that I would like a different, like, something else. But at the same time, like, I get it. Like, I think that's just me being a selfish gamer. That's just me being like, I played for how many hours to get to this, like, you know what I mean? And uncover small things like Ishmael and then the tunnels and everything. Like, these, I don't know how they're gonna end. However, I will say I'm happy about the fact that it's a series, not a film.
Right.
Because I think before, quite a few years ago, there was like Last of Us thrown around, and I was like, please don't do that. Please don't do that.
You'd have to cut out so much good stuff to make that into a 2-hour movie.
Yeah, and I think, like, it's just a really good, I guess, marketing decision to do a TV show rather than a film, because of obviously the rise of online, Amazon Prime and everything.
Yeah.
I would say you could
Good
even
move,
mirror
HBO.
like Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones wouldn't have worked as a movie series, I don't think.
No, not at
definitely
all.
not.
Yeah.
Not at all.
It might have taken them a little longer to make it all, which might have been for the better. But anyways, let's go on to the next question, which is going to be real fun. Jess, you not having listened to the podcast before, you're going to hate this, but Kevin might have an idea already. The next question is, what games are you looking forward to coming out this year, but you can't use The Last of Us 2?
Honestly, I've got 2 in mind already that are not The Last of Us 2.
Perfect.
This guy is prepared. Does his homework.
I wish. No, the 2 games that I'm looking forward to are Cyberpunk 2077, number 1, and and Resident Evil 3, which is coming out on the 3rd, April 3rd.
Aha.
So, yes,
you haven't been able to tell.
Both of those.
Yeah.
Yes, I saw that.
I sent him those.
Yeah,
I've
she
got
actually
that
got
as
me
my
those.
desktop background.
You have that as your desktop background?
Yes, I have 2 monitors. So I've got Claire on this one, and I've got Leon on this one.
Oh, sick.
And they're back to back like that in the rain with, you know, the Raccoon City just in the background. And
no way.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely. We've heard Cyberpunk quite a few times and Resident Evil quite a few times. So that's awesome. Like, we're definitely, those are on probably our top 5, I would say, of most, besides The Last of Us.
Yeah, looking forward to.
Oh, yeah.
I think for good reason as well. You know, obviously Resi going to be almost like a cult following at this point because it's going to be like a remake of classic, and Cyberpunk is a complete new step in some sort of direction. They're like, oh.
Yeah. Well, the thing with Resi 3 is I never got to play any of the Resident Evil franchise until Resident Evil 4. So
Mm.
going back and playing Resident Evil 2 Remake, that was a whole new experience for me. So I'm really excited to see Resi 3 because I've seen some things on it, like, you know, I know about Nemesis, I know about,
Oh,
know,
but you've never
Jill.
actually experienced that original game.
right.
That's gonna be interesting
So-
because you're gonna experience the remake completely differently from how I'm gonna experience it because I've played the original game dozens of times. So playing the remake, it's gonna be what's different from the original game. But for you, it's gonna be kind of an original story, but it's still gonna be all new and fascinating at the same time.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, the one thing that I did see that was missing from Resi 2, after going back and watching, you know, other playthroughs of it, the 98 version, I did see that there wasn't as many interactions between Leon and Claire,
Mhm.
and that a lot of the choices that you made in terms of, you know, what weapons you picked up or what items you had, that kind of stuff didn't really carry over between the A and B scenarios, which I know a lot
Okay.
of other people were pretty upset about.
I mean, I've played through Resident Evil 2 enough times that I never really felt that caused a huge difference, especially because when you play as Claire, she picks up different stuff than Leon
Yeah.
does. And I always felt that was kind of more the core mechanic. It did stink that when you play from A to B, you basically played through the same game on the B side just as the other character with slightly different things. But the sheer magnitude of what they did with that game, I'm like, I can't even complain at this point.
Yeah, no, I was completely blown away. I loved it. I mean,
Yeah.
regardless of what was or was not missing. Excuse me, I cannot speak.
Mhm.
I can't either. Sorry.
Yeah,
It happens. We all
English is
do it.
hard.
Because Capcom just nailed it out of the park so well with that
They
game.
did.
And
They
to
really
me,
did.
it's like the epitome of survival horror.
Yes.
And it's bad enough that people know me as a Resident Evil fan. I actually already had a friend of mine like, oh, did you play the demo for Resi 3 yet? And I'm like, no. And he's like, wow, I can't believe you didn't play it. Why didn't you play it? I'm like, because I want that entire game to be fresh when I play it. I want to be able to pick up the game and start from the beginning, play through the whole thing, not experiencing any of it. That's all I'm
That's a
asking
fair
for.
point, though.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, with that, Kevin,
Kevin, what do you
what are you
think?
looking
Yeah.
forward to?
Well, other than the game that shall not be named, I guess I'm supposed to be excited about Cyberpunk. I know nothing about it. I do know that you know, it's one of those games that's really hyped. It's got a lot of production quality behind it and all that jazz. So at some point, I'm gonna play that. I think probably the game that I'm actually the most excited about it is the new Marvel game, the Avengers game.
Mhm.
I'm really curious about it. I want to see, you know, all the way that it works and how the characters are gonna play out, because it feels different than, you know, some of the older Marvel games. You used to have the Marvel team up games where you had like 4 or 5 guys in a kind of a top scroller kind of game and stuff like that. But this looks a little more real worldish, a little closer to like Spider-Man on the PS4 or something like that, but with, you know, this huge cast of characters, including our good friends Troy and Nolan. And so it
Who?
looks really cool. Yeah, I never heard of them. And
Sound
then,
familiar?
yeah, and then I am now excited about Resident Evil 3. I actually finished my first ever playthrough of Resident Evil last week.
Hey,
Nice.
cool.
Yeah,
Which
I'd never
one?
played it before. The HD remaster
Okay, cool.
of the very first one, and then I'm going to go back, and Zero is also on that one, so I'll play Zero.
Good
And
luck
then,
with Zero.
and then GameFly will bring me 2, and then I'll be ready for 3. So
Sick.
I'm excited for it now. Getting into it and just hearing you guys talk. Obviously, I'm going to find some new characters here going down the road. But
Yeah.
yeah, excited about that one too.
Awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on RE3. Anyways,
I can.
yeah, because you're not going to play it.
To Pagan's credit, as much as a man baby as I am, I do enjoy horror still. I will get scared shitless because I have yet to even complete Alien Isolation.
Mm.
If that says anything.
I haven't
Played-
picked up the remote. Actually, I have. I picked up the remote for Alien Isolation. I went into the first corridor. Haven't even seen the creature yet. The game has barely started. I opened the door, went into the hallway. The lights flickered, and I was like, no. And then I just turned it
No.
off. No.
You just paused
That
it
was
and
a
walked
silly
away.
thing. Yeah. And I was like, nah. Good. No, I think I got it for a friend, and I was like, you have to play this game. I hear it's really scary. And they were like, yeah, maybe you should play it. And I was like, okay. So I got into the corridor, and I was like,
Nope.
let's just turn it off and watch a movie. Okay, fine. Yeah.
I can't. They made the alien way too good. Way too good. The AI it's no joke.
It's so good.
No
I
joke.
love Alien Isolation. I played through that game when it first came out, and I streamed some of it with the hope that I would scream like a baby, but I didn't. I'm just too dead inside.
Yeah, you're dead inside. It's okay. I constantly, by the way, I feel my phone fucking, man, I swear to God,
Oh,
my
it
phone
does.
listens to me, because as soon as we say that, a couple hours later, I'll be scrolling Instagram and I'll get adverts for t-shirts that say dead inside. And I was like,
Mm.
I gotta send these down one day. I'm just gonna get a post
Just
one
like
day.
a bunch
It'll
of
be 5
shirts.
t-shirts dead inside,
Dead inside.
Yeah.
in different varieties.
No, I actually have a story about that. I was going to go to Italy. I was going to Italy last year and getting ready, and I don't drink. I'm not a drinker. And so I was thinking, what should I do? And I was talking out loud and said, oh, I wonder if they have roastery or coffee espresso tours or anything like that. And then I went to my computer not 15 minutes later, and there was an advertisement for espresso tours in Italy. So I was like,
Listening.
okay.
That's a bit
I was like, that's
creepy.
not something that just randomly pops up, right? I
Yeah.
don't know anybody else that's ever seen that.
I had
So,
this.
Yeah.
I had this argument before with Adam, who may not exist, but I had this argument before, and I was like, I'm telling you, the phone is listening. Like, no, it's just a really good algorithm. And I was like, no, I'm
Mm-mm.
telling you, this phone is listening. Because we had a conversation about astrology once. I don't ever look at astrology. I'm not at all interested in astrology. And not 2 hours later did I have an advert pop up about astrology. And I was like, I'm sorry, this is just not an algorithm. I would never look or Google or anything about astrology. Well, we were just having conversation. It wasn't even like, let me look that up. Nothing.
It's bad enough how often that my phone will pop up with Siri, and Siri will be like, "What did you say?" And I'm like, "I wasn't talking to you, Siri. I didn't even say
I know.
Siri. Why are you?"
That happens all the time. You know why that happens all the time to me? Because of the way I say seriously.
Seriously. I'm saying Siri
I'll be
now,
like,
and my phone's
"Seriously?"
not even coming up.
Goes, just clips the seriously at the beginning of my sentence, and she'll always pop. When I'm on the phone to customers and stuff. So anyway, okay, she's up today.
So, last question we have for you guys is, what games would you like to see the guys play on Retro Replay Level 3, be it a retro game? If you got something more modern you want to say, but we try to stick it within the context of Level 3, like if they were going to play a game next week, what would you like to see them play?
Ooh.
Any retro games?
I would have sworn I had one before, but I can't for the life of me think of what it is. But I do know a modern one that I would love to see them do a definitive playthrough on, because I want to see Nolan just cry. Is Dead Space? I think that game, that's one of the best horror games that I've played.
Yes.
And
I think we talk about this on every episode of our show, where somebody says they want to see them play a horror game, and it's like everybody wants to see them play a horror game, but they're not. They're not going to play horror
They're not going to play
because
one.
they don't want to be losing their shit on the show.
Yeah.
Maybe Halloween this year.
Maybe.
Who knows? Something could
We
happen.
were hoping
and they'd
last
be
Halloween we would
okay.
get it, especially with VR.
Yeah. It cut out though when you had said the horror game name. What were you talking about?
Dead Space.
Dead Space.
Oh, Dead Space. Oh,
Yeah.
That game's
Oh.
just magnificent. I
The
loved it.
sound design alone on that game.
Yep.
It's all you need.
Yeah. It always creeped me out every time I heard something in that game, because I would always I was turning around like, what the hell was that?
Yeah.
Just always had my
again-
gun ready.
Yeah, again, I
No.
only made it through the beginning bit where you walking in and you could hear the sound of something knocking against something, and it was that guy in the window
Yeah.
knocking his head off the window, and then just it explodes. And I was like, "Wow, no, absolutely not, no!" And then I just turned it off. I was like,
The
"No,
worst
this
thing
is
that
not
that
happening."
game ever did was just the ambient sound effects that would just happen, and there was nothing. It would be like you hear like a wrench go flying or something, and you start spinning around like, what was that? And there was never anything there.
Yeah,
just that.
Oh. No, you know why? Because I think Dead Space was the first game that I saw where someone would be playing it, you'd walk into a room full of dead things that do not stay dead, and that oh.
So, if you've played survival horror games long enough, like I have, to always question the dead things, and you shoot them anyways. Just shoot them.
True.
Yeah.
But like that was the first game I've ever seen. Like the creature design, horrifying.
The necromorphs.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was what got me. That and the sound design, obviously. Like, yeah. No, absolutely not.
Well, and the crazy thing about that game is it was the story that got me. For as crazy as it was, as scary as it was, that's like I played the first one, the second one, and I even played the third one, which wasn't as good. But I also read a couple of the books. There was a couple of books written around it, and
Did you watch the
some comic books
movies?
written around it.
There's movies?
I feel like I watched
there's
one.
movies,
There's
too.
an
There's
anime.
There's 2 animated movies.
Or 2.
Yeah.
I think I watched one. I don't remember watching the other one, but like I was
They're
invested in that
terrifying.
universe. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
Really
And
cool.
I'm interested.
the story is so good. The characters are so good. It's really well written. And man, I will never think of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star the same way again.
Right? Yeah.
Like made that song terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, Jess, have you thought of a game that you'd like to see the guys play?
God.
I mean,
Honestly, no. Just because
I would say the
everything that
easiest
I usually
answer is
think
like,
of-
what was like your favorite game on the Super Nintendo or the PlayStation 1, like an old school game from your childhood that would just be like, oh man, that'd be great.
Well, see, that's the thing. Is like a lot of those were, like Super Mario Brothers or Super Mario World or like The Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, that kind of stuff. But obviously they can't do one-offs and those types of things. It's well, maybe Super Mario World, but something like Zelda they can't really do a one-off on.
I mean, they've done other RPGs before with the one-off episodes.
Yeah, one that I
That's
thought would
true.
be fun is Super Mario RPG. Anybody remembers that one?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
that'd be interesting.
But it's a long game, so they wouldn't get very far.
Oh no, I mean they did the Secret of Mana, but they played like what 15 minutes worth of the game.
Yeah.
I think on that note, just now I'm thinking like, oh, Chrono Trigger would be interesting. I bet they would
Yeah,
have
see,
fun
I was
with
thinking
Chrono
that
Trigger.
too, but they probably wouldn't get, too far.
Oh,
They'd
yeah.
probably be interested in playing more maybe after the show or something, but
Yeah.
on the show, they probably wouldn't.
Well,
get too
there's
far.
no rules to this. You can
Yeah.
just say whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter if the game is impossible for them to
Pretend.
play.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It doesn't
Then honestly,
matter.
yeah, I would probably have to say Chrono Trigger because that was a big one in my childhood.
I'll make that as 2 weeks in a row I've had a guest steal my answer. Because if you listened last week, I did
Perfect.
the same
Yeah, it
thing
was
with
Beth.
Portal.
Yeah. Which was a great game. Like, I think that's a good idea. I like when they play 2-player games as well.
Yeah.
When they play
Yeah.
2-player games and they really get into it and stuff, that's always good crack.
Or games without dialogue, because then they make their own
Yeah.
dialogue, and that is
So
incredibly
good.
entertaining.
Which I can't segue yet, but I was going to say, like they did this week.
Yeah, right?
We'll get to that.
You could do it. You could segue it in and then, like, put
Oh, absolutely.
guacamole around the other side. Do whatever you got to do.
So like they
buddy,
did
do
this
the
week
most.
on Out of This World. Or Another World. Out of This World.
Another World.
Another World. Which one is it?
What did I say? What did I write there?
It's
Fuck,
one
I
of
was not
those.
paying
It's both. It's technically
Another World.
both.
Yeah,
The
it's
game
another
had
Technically
world.
one
both.
title originally and then got a different name when they re-released it on the
Oh,
PS4.
that's true.
So this
Thank
week
God you
on
know your facts, huh?
Retro Replay, I guess I know, sort of. I didn't fact check it.
Fuck it.
We'll just copy
Pretend.
and paste what Drew had.
Just-
That's all.
Yeah.
There you go.
Look.
Drew
Alright,
did our jobs
figure
for
it out.
us. We're good. The guys played Another World, or originally known as Out of This World in North America.
Yay.
It was released in 1991. It's a cinematic platform action adventure game. Man, how many genres can you give that? I'm kind of like with Troy. It looked very much like a Prince of Persia game. This game tells the story of Lester, a young scientist,
Slash Elliot.
now dubbed Elliot. As a result of an experiment gone wrong, finds himself on a dangerous alien world where he is forced to fight for his survival. I had heard of this game. I've never played this game. Anybody else have any similar experiences or have had played this game?
Never.
You're a
I've
PC
never
guy.
heard
No, it wasn't really a PC game. It was Atari
Nah.
Yeah.
PC.
Yeah, and then it went to PlayStation.
Yeah. I remember
Uh,
seeing that game get released and being like, I've never heard of this. Okay. Wouldn't be the first time.
We're-
Did you have something you were going to say, Jess?
Yeah. I hate to say it, but I didn't get a chance to catch up on this week's episode just because of all the work that's coming in.
Get
So-
I'm
out.
out. I'm done.
I know.
This podcast
No, it's
is a
fine.
sham.
I know.
Not
I know.
sorry about it.
Shame. Shame.
Shame.
Shame.
You
It
should
happens.
get that. Start that
Oh,
here.
God.
Like, can you
That's the
imagine?
last thing you need, Pagan.
I know, right? No, it's great. I think like I have never played this game. I haven't seen this game. I hadn't heard of this game. But boy, was that episode a whole heap of fun.
Mm.
Nolan died so many times. It was great. Pyro was counting up to 60
Was
deaths.
he really that high? Wow.
Oh,
Yeah, we're
Jesus.
waiting for the 100. I think like the 100 has not yet happened. So, we've got coast before. Pretty high. So good. Just the little bits at the end when he has to shoot the cave and then come through the water, and then run back out and jump through the.
You know what's really funny about that is not only was this episode funny to begin with and really hilarious, but at that point when he got to the water and every time he drowned and it cut to that little flash of Lester going blah, 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 I did that to myself. Like I laughed at that image of the character and going blah, 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 and I was laughing at myself just for that. Like it had nothing to do with what the guys were doing or saying. I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah, man. Chat was hopping.
And
That
it
was
reminded me
great.
of Dead Space. Just the animated ways of dying.
Yeah.
Did Rory say something about that in the episode?
I think
was
he
it
did.
also
He-
like it
Did
loosely
he?
inspired
He
Dead Space or
mentioned
something? or
Dead
they used-
Space.
Yeah.
Just like
I know
the
he's
cutaway
mentioned it once
deaths.
or twice in the last like couple of weeks.
He does
See,
keep bringing
it
it
could
up
happen.
pretty
It
often.
could happen, Kevin.
I know. I'm crossing my fingers.
Stay hopeful,
I
man.
want it.
Maybe secretly they're working on a Dead Space playthrough. We'll never know.
awesome.
That would be pretty
man.
cool. I would love to see.
Send them a copy and just be like, you have to
Yeah.
play this now that I sent it
Yeah.
to you. You have no excuse.
If I had a physical copy, I would just grab it off my
Still
shelf
do.
and just throw it at him and just be like, "Here, play it."
That's right. Just wait until the like this whole Corona thing dies down. Go to a convention, chuck it at one of their heads, and be like, "Play it."
I have Dead Space all digital on several platforms. I can't
Yeah.
physically give it to them.
No, we'll
I'll
find
just-
a way.
I'll just give
find
them
a way.
access to my Steam account for a few weeks. I'll just share
Yeah,
Get a
there you go.
life-size poster or a life-size cardboard cutout of the Dead Space guy. Send it to them.
Isaac?
Like, listen.
Yep.
Getting the hint?
Like
the fuck you do?
Lester. It's Isaac. Very
Oh,
common
okay.
names. Isaac is the name of the dude from Dead Space.
Ah.
Yes.
With Prince of Persia vibes though, and this one, like I didn't like I've played Prince of Persia, but I'm not quite sure what he's talking about, what he's referring to. Is it like the mechanics of the game that you think that
Well,
reminded
it's
you
a
of that?
side scroller, like because they played Prince of Persia before, like the original.
I would say because it's
Oh,
a, it's a side-scrolling like
that was from
puzzle
like Parry Stab, is that
puzzle
right?
platformer.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Ah.
Parry Stab.
Yeah. That's the one.
Right.
I would say it echoes Prince of Persia because it's a side-scrolling puzzle platformer. Each screen is kind of a puzzle in its own, and you
Yeah.
have to figure out how to get through it, much like Prince of Persia.
I kind of like that though. I would be interested in playing it.
I did find myself oddly enticed watching the episode of like, I actually think I would enjoy playing this game. I might have to look at that. And then, of course, in fun ways, Nolan got super into it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially like we get that little sign off at the end where he's like, well, let's keep playing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like in the beginning, he died a couple of times, and he was like, "Nope, nope, you play now." He handed it
Yeah,
over
here,
to
you
Troy.
you take a turn. And it was nice that Troy actually did. He usually is just like, nah, you do it.
Oh, that's good. Good content.
I think he saw what happened to Nolan and Spider-Man. He didn't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
I might be the only one, but did you guys pick up on what Troy was singing in the very beginning of the episode in the intro?
Yeah, what was it?
It was the song from the Robin Hood animated Disney movie.
Yeah. Little John and Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Really?
So it was like Little John and Robin Hood going through the forest. And then he's like, wait, what are we playing? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, why is he singing the song from Robin Hood?
Maybe Traveler was watching it or
It's-
something. I don't know.
I was gonna say it's Troy. Does he need a reason?
Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
He has a point
And then we got
for anything.
Nolan going off for like 5 minutes where Troy just said nothing. He was just like ignoring Nolan, just being Nolan. It was
Yeah.
like, how is Troy not responding to the things that Nolan is saying right now?
Or the Drew cutaway,
Oh yeah.
where like Troy was pretending to be like a escape or really whatever. I
Yeah.
actually found what Drew was saying was interesting. Not for the life of me thinking about what it was now. It was like a cinematic play.
Yeah,
was
because they
talking
made
about
him
the game
they
and-
made him defend himself when he was explaining the game in there.
Yeah,
He was
Their game is
explaining
so
his
good.
like
he's
reasoning.
so knowledgeable about it. Like there is nothing more interesting to me than listening to somebody talk about something they're passionate about or that they're very knowledgeable about. So like just listening to that, I was like, wow, I have no idea what you're talking about, but that is so interesting. I'm so involved. Whereas Troy's just like,
I
you know,
gotta
like
watching
you're
that
like,
bit.
"Oh,
I was
this
like, I
makes
felt like this is me talking to Pagan at some point, trying to explain
It's-
something.
it's
I like-
mostly that. It is mostly that.
I like too. They came up with a new name for when Tom makes
Oh, Tom's
note in-
tidbits.
Tom's titty bits.
Tom
The
Titty
titty
Bits. Shout out to Tom Breckman.
The
Tom,
little-
I know you listen to this podcast, so
Thank you,
Tom,
Tom.
shout out to you, buddy.
All the shout outs.
But yeah, I don't know if anybody's noticed, or if you A, don't follow Tom on Twitter, or B, don't listen to Play, Watch, Listen, which is Troy Alana this podcast.
Yeah.
It's on their Twitter. Go find it. But obviously Tom's program got shut down because of the whole coronavirus thing. Got shipped off back to Boston. Not in Boston right now, but he is like having head there, and then like might have to sort of out.
Be careful
like,
in
man, that
Boston
sucks.
if you have to go back.
Yeah, no idea. He's not there at the moment.
Man, if
Like,
he
I'm
ends
his
up
best
having
friend.
to get sent
He's-
back.
He just isn't at.
You
isn't
know
at,
because you keep
Boston right
tabs
now.
with him on a regular basis. I know.
I keep tabs. He's an all right guy. He's an all right guy. May someday feature on the podcast. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah.
Wink, wink, hint, clue, clue.
But yeah, I love that. Tom's Titty Bits. So good.
Yeah, great episode all around. Did you guys have anything else from that episode you'd wanted to touch on or hit on?
Not really. It was a great
That'd be up to
episode.
y'all.
Yeah, I think we hit on all the big ones.
Yeah. It was just good crack. It is what
Yeah.
it is. It's not such a replay. They're always
Yeah.
good crack.
I definitely found myself enjoying that episode a lot more than I expected. Like
Yeah,
when I
same.
first saw
It
like,
took a
oh,
minute.
this game, like, is this gonna turn into another tangent fest? Because I'm like I've talked about on the podcast before. I'm the weirdo who doesn't like the tangent episodes where they just go on. They put the controller down and then it's just like let's me and you hash things out for 45 minutes. And I'm like, okay, this is entertaining or it's interesting, but this isn't why I'm here. And
Yeah.
these episodes of the show, like this week, last week's, those two were like, those are my bread and butter retro replay episodes. When Nolan's going off, Troy's actually like giving a good, I don't know, like trying not to shit on Troy.
Don't.
We shit
So
on I
nice
shit on
guy.
But like when the guys riff off each other as well as they were in this episode, that's my favorite. When it's about the game, they're riffing on the game, but they're having fun. They're still enjoying it. They're invested, but having a good time, or as Pagan would say, the crack.
The crack. They're just having the crack.
Crack.
But also, yeah, they were also like chat was happening. I don't know if you guys were in chat.
I was not in live chat. I was working,
was-
unfortunately.
Yeah, I was definitely in and out. It's still late here for me, and working early the next day, but I still stayed in chat as long as I could. And it's always just great to see people like regular guys having a good time. Pyro's there counting the dead pool. It's always good crack. Shout out to Grace, and Grace, who's
yeah.
like made this most amazing thread. Honestly,
yeah.
if you
Grace has got to be the highest ranked replayer getting shoutouts during the show at this point.
well deserved, 100%.
Oh, absolutely.
Like she's the gifts that she makes are just like
A little shout out for
chef's
Grace.
kiss.
A little,
Like she's so
And
good.
quick too.
Yeah.
She's quick with them.
She is like not even an hour after the thing comes out. Like she's got a whole thread planned out
Yeah.
of all this, and you're like, oh, I could pay taxes to that woman. Shout out to Grace. She's a gift. It's a whole new meaning in Amazing Grace. That's fact.
Gift of
yeah.
Gift and Grace. Yeah.
Gift of Gift and Grace.
There's a
Heck
tongue
yeah.
twister.
That's the name of a podcast right there. Like
The gift of Griffin,
yeah.
Gift and Grace. Blah, blah.
That's okay.
Even
Sorry, buddy.
Troy said Griff. Like, why did I say Griff?
Griffin Geese.
Griff.
Griffin Grace. No, yeah, that's great. I think I think though she's on a par with Pyro. Like she really is shouted out quite a lot, but so is Pyro. Because whenever Nolan dies, a lot, and it's usually the same, especially in retro games, it's the same sound cue, the same audio cue. Even if you were just listening to the background, it's the same, like, oh. I'd love them to play Metal Gear and just have this like snake. I'd love that because you know that's gonna happen a million times in the episode. So that'd be great crack.
Well, even when they did play the other Metal Gear a few months ago, and like they played the retro Metal Gear, and I'm like, I wish they played Metal Gear Solid because that would have been so much more fun.
Yeah, maybe
one
one
day. If nothing
day.
else, the voice acting, maybe one day. Anywho, I could have done a little segue before when I was talking about tongue twisters because on Uncle Noli, Uncle Noli did a tongue twister. He's like, "Can't catch me, you little prick!" Like, oh man, Noli.
Is this the one Aaron got shouted out as well, where he was like, "No one likes the loud guy."
Yeah.
Don't I love that. That was great. Shut the fuck up. Yeah. That was great. So good.
Do love some Uncle Noli. I hope the guys can keep up the pace that they have with Uncle Noli. They've been coming out strong the few weeks that we've had it so far, and I give Nolan a lot of credit for being able to just do those riffs the way he does. And here's hoping that we can just keep churning out the Uncle Nolis.
There's a lot of good questions on there as well, and I think like the fun questions like the tongue twist.
Yeah.
What's the meaning of life? And, like they're great for just quick ones. But that's a lot of pressure on Nolan. I mean,
I'm really happy we're not getting a bunch of the like existential questions. Like that's my biggest fear with the Uncle Nolis is people asking him like really serious questions. Like it's
actual advice.
Like
it's not the type of show.
Yeah. No, but I think people know that too. It's that.
Yeah.
Number one, it's not that type of show. Number two, even though Nolan would give out that type of advice, he also knows that it's not that type of show. So he'll probably pick like one maybe out of the bunch and then do the rest of like, all those other jokey ones.
Yeah.
And he'll give us a great answer like the meaning of life. It's a movie.
Yeah.
Great ones. Like, he comes out with some bangers, man. He's great. I agree. I hope they can keep up the pace.
Well, I know Troy was going to record his own too, wasn't he?
Right. He had
the story time.
Tell me a story.
Yeah.
Wink, wink. Like we had talked about story time back in the early days of podcasts, and then all of a sudden Troy has the story time. We had a soundbite for it and everything.
I know.
Like
story time.
We were like story time. Like we're on to you guys.
Yeah. Y'all have the inside scoop.
That's it. They get all the ideas from here. No, he was gonna do like a story time, like Troy, tell me this, or tell me this, Troy, or something like that. And people wanted to get information. I think though, Troy is such a philosophical, very wise, well-spoken wordsmith, and I feel like that content works so well for him. Actual advice, actual story. Lessons and life lessons learned and experience gained, and let me pass this and express this positivity about this, how it is, etc. not that he's not funny, he's hilarious. I just think that kind of content works better for him.
Mhm.
Likewise with Nolan has some smashing advice and he's so sound, but I just feel like he has this great quick-witted improv skill. Just clearly worked during the show so much that they advice from him. So I feel like that would be amazing if that does happen. However, not heard anything from it. Maybe more in the quarantine times, perhaps.
Or maybe
Okay.
it'll be
Hopefully.
something to pick up when the Uncle Noli
Oh,
fades
perhaps.
off, or if they run out of questions for Uncle Noli, they pick up stories with Troy and kind of
True.
vice versa.
Originally, I thought they would interview
Hmm.
somebody else. Like when
Yeah.
they put that up on Twitter, I thought maybe they're going to do it 2 days. And I thought, no, maybe 1 week will be.
And
Yeah.
we have
Who
been
knows? I
getting
guess it'll happen.
Noli's on Tuesdays, which was definitive playthrough days. So obviously, I would imagine if they start a new definitive playthrough, which we're still waiting on Uncharted 3 to start, maybe that's when Noli takes a break, and we'll see if Troy comes in to fill a different day of the week, give or take.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see that. I know that, like you said, I know that it's been talked about for a while, even like way back back in 2018, when Retro Replay was just starting. I know that a lot of people just liked hearing Troy talk and hearing his stories. Me being one of those people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, when Pagan was talking about Troy, I was gonna say he's very skilled at like being on a podium.
Yes.
Like or a soapbox. He's a good soapboxer. He's very
Storyteller.
Yeah.
A storyteller. That's
It
what he
happened. Siri's listening.
does. Siri!
Damn it, Siri.
Shut up! I didn't.
I'm not looking
yeah,
for soapboxes.
Yeah, you're gonna get so many advertisements now. Are you looking for a podium?
Did you need a podium? I'm sorry, I can't help you with that. I'm sure you can. Anywho. Well, we pretty much covered everything as far as content goes this week from Retro Replay. We've had some pretty good tangents. We could throw out there a little bit of gaming news, since this is the week and release of 2 pretty big video games.
Yeah.
We definitely had a little bit of pre-show chat about this, and we can throw a little bit out there. We had this week, obviously, release of Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing. Even with all the coronavirus nonsense, crazily enough, both those games got released a day early because of that.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure everyone is all the happier for.
Fantastic marketing ploy. Can you imagine?
And with that, we can also say that Pagan crashed and gave into the hype.
Sure did. I gave into the hype, everybody. So sorry if you're all disappointed in me. Also, equally, I am also happy if I've approval somehow make Animal Crossing a thing. Yeah. So Animal Crossing came out. I was having like a weird day, and I thought I'm gonna give into this hype and pay a lot of money for a game that I don't know anything about, and I'm gonna trust the hype because fuck it. The last game hasn't come out since 2012. Everyone was like, "Yes, I'm so excited!" Like aggressive to Animal Crossing, and I really appreciated the cross marketing with Animal Crossing together. Dope, fucking dope marketing team. Both of those. So I was like, you know what? Let me just do that, and it's like a really cute little game, and they talk and you can go and get oranges. Yeah, they're talking to be. You can go get oranges, and you can pick it up, and they get 20 for it.
How's that Tom Nook treating you?
Oh, he's okay. He's a weirdo, but he's okay. Like mostly, like he keeps repeating himself, like yes, yes, or yes, yes, indeed, indeed, and you're like yourself, it's okay. But mostly, it's really adorable, and it's just a game that you can lose your mind in a good way, not in a bad way.
Right.
More like a switch off for this time being and
switch your brain off during this time of strife. Content.
Yeah, basically.
And not in the Last of Us Grounded type of way.
Not in the Last of Us Grounded type of way. I don't need that kind of stress, Jesse. Like my heart is already like up here all the time.
See, now
I don't need that.
I bet for many, Doom Eternal can be the same thing, because Doom's whole thing is it's a power trip. you are more powerful than your enemies for the most part, and you're literally just running around slaughtering demons. I feel like
Yeah.
that's a good game you can switch your brain off to and just like, yay, power fantasy, just murdering demons.
I will also say I've never played any Doom game except on Thursday. In order to get prepared for this Doom Eternal launch, I played an hour of the original Doom. What I mean is like one from 2016.
2016. Okay.
Yeah, 2016 one. So I played an hour of that, and I was like, everything is so fast, and it's just, oh my god, it's overwhelming, but it is so much fun. So I
very
really enjoy
fast.
both games, but like different levels.
Yeah.
Different levels. You cannot have coffee and play Doom Eternal. You can have coffee and play Animal Crossing. What you need is chamomile tea before you play Doom Eternal. Like, you need to chill out first because your heart rate's going to be up here, your blood pressure's going to be through the roof.
You're just
Your
gonna
doctors are probably like, stay in
chest
class,
explode.
basically. What about you guys? Were you guys looking forward to Animal Crossing Doom Eternal?
No.
No.
Kevin's like, no.
No, I've never played a Doom game, and I'm not really a first-person shooter guy. So, going back to the more the bigger first-person shooters like Call of Duties and stuff, I might as well just run out there like a giant orange road cone. Like,
Yeah.
they're gonna see me and I'm gonna get shot. That's how it's gonna go. I'm not gonna hit anybody. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna be really
Preaching
sad.
to the choir, buddy. I feel you so
You
bad.
just be like,
Yeah.
I don't know how you play this game. All I ever see is a menu with guns on it. And like, it'll go away for a second, but then it comes right back. So I don't know what I'm supposed
Straight
to do.
That's probably why I could never play any online games like you do, Jesse, because like I feel like as soon as I would get in there, be it Fortnite or Call of Duty or anything, as soon as I'd get into the playground, the area that you're supposed to be in, and be like, right, let's start a mission, dead. Like, just, I'm gone. Dead. There's no way to get good at this game. I'm out. So I just don't bother.
Here's a thought I have. When you're talking about an online competitive game,
yeah,
a lot of people refer to the play space as a map or a board. I always say map when you're talking about playing in an online game.
Yeah.
So you guys agree? Map?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I wanted to put that out there because I get people say board to me, and I'm like, why do you say board?
I would have said arena, especially in like Fortnite or something. I would have said arena.
Yeah, arena makes sense, but that's partially because of, things like League of Legends and, where that is technically an arena. But I think people say board. I used to say board, but I think they say board just because of, tabletop times. All those tabletop adventure games and D&D and just all those types of things, because there was a board out on the table that you would always, be playing on. So I guess when it got carried over to video games,
I can respect and appreciate that answer. The only issue I have is the majority of people who say board to me, I don't picture them as D&D players. And I
feel like they might have
assuming
picked
they're
it up
not.
from I feel like they might have just picked it up from the lingo of D&D players or board game players.
Could be.
Have you played Doom or anything, Jesse? Like, were you looking forward to any of these kind of games that were released this week?
I wouldn't say I was looking forward to Doom, but I definitely want to play it just because it, like you said, it is one of those games where it's a power fantasy. You go around, it's a great game to just go around and just kill shit, kind of like GTA. You get in, you cause mayhem, you do what you do, and it's like, okay, frustration's vented, I'm good, let's interact with people.
Yeah.
I love the soundtrack of Doom, by the way. The music in Doom is so awesome, and it gets you pumped. And like, I'm a big fan of metal and heavy music, and I very much look forward to playing the new Doom. I have it, I just haven't cracked into it yet.
Okay.
That's because I started playing Neo 2 last week, and
Neo 2.
It is a make you hate yourself hard Souls-like game. You play as a samurai fighting demons. The demons are super hard. You die a bunch. Make you want to rip your own throat out, kind of.
So Sekiro?
It's like Sekiro. You could say that.
All right.
Could be.
I still haven't played that game. I would like to, but
I was a big fan of the original Neo. I played the bejesus out of that game. Of course, Neo 2 came out last week, the week before Doom 2. Yeah, I've been looking forward to that game. It was announced at E3 alongside Resident Evil 2 and that Last of Us showcase that we were talking about last week on the show.
Oh yes, yeah. Huh.
Yeah. But it's
Have you played
from-
Sekiro, Jesse? What were you going to say?
No, I was just gonna say that I haven't played Sekiro either.
Yeah,
It
if you like
seems like a
games that
really
punish
difficult
you.
game. Yeah,
They
it seems
are.
like a really difficult game, and I feel like I would rage. Because
Yeah.
I'm definitely on Kevin's level. I just want to play on the easiest difficulty. I like the story. I like the colors, and it's pretty. And I just want to play a good game that I could be like, yeah, this is awesome. And then like face bad guys that I'd kill, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm amazing. Whereas
Like,
like
I'm
if I actually turned it
awesome.
up to normal, I'd be shit.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like I'd prefer those kind of games. So I feel like Sekiro might not be.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm
Probably
the
not Neo.
same. Can't do
Yeah.
it. I'm the
Yeah.
guy that if I'm playing it and it's too hard and somebody's like, you shouldn't play it if you think it's too hard, and I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
agree.
that's true. Yeah. All right then. I'll just put this down. Take
Message
care.
received.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm not one for Souls games either. Or Soulsborne like games, I guess I should say.
Mhm.
But I did enjoy Bloodborne. I enjoyed Bloodborne. I enjoyed Dark Souls 3, and I think that's part of the reason why Jedi Fallen Order actually intrigued me as much as it did,
Mhm.
was because it was a more casual Soulsborne like game
Very much
that
so.
other people, like other casual gamers, could just pick up and play on any difficulty that they wanted and still enjoy the game the way
Yeah.
that they wanted to enjoy it.
And I love Jedi for that same reason. But I still play Jedi on a very hard difficulty. But you can
Yes.
turn it down and make it easier so that you can still enjoy the game and still experience the story without wanting to kill yourself.
Yeah,
Out
exactly.
of interest then, Dan, do you like when you pick up a game like say Jedi Fallen Order, you just automatically choose the hardest difficulty first, or do you play on normal?
Normally, I go for normal.
Okay.
Is my normal default setting, depending on the game. If a game I know might be a little easier and I want a little bit more of a challenge out of it, I might bump it up. But a lot of times I don't up the difficulty until I've already like beaten the game and then go back and play it on a
Yeah.
harder difficulty, much like you would with say Uncharted or The Last of Us. Those are the
Okay.
games I would challenge myself to go back and play on the harder difficulty.
Okay. Cool.
Whereas a game like Neo, there is no difficulty; it just kicks your ass, and you just have to be good.
It's just automatically hard.
You just have to get good. Just get good.
Nope, I'll just
Jesus.
die.
I'm no Lion
Yeah.
King.
I'm the same. I just can't get good, Kevin. I haven't figured out the way to get good, so I'm just like, yeah, no, I'm good. I'm gonna play some Animal Crossing where I can be into like a new house.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I'm gonna play because I know I can't be bad at that game. Although I guarantee I probably am. Someone else
You're
would be like,
doing it
"You've been
wrong.
playing it for 2 hours and you haven't got this," and I'd be like, "Oh, like, dang it!
It's part of
Why
playing
can't
the
I
game.
progress?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the IGN walkthrough for Animal Crossing.
There you go.
There you go.
That's a great idea. No, Jacksepticeye played it recently, so maybe I should
Yeah.
just watch one of his streams.
Yeah, you'll learn a lot of little titty bits and be like, "Ooh, that's what I gotta do."
Yeah. Although to be fair, right, you can make this little axe thing, and it's called the flimsy axe. It's obviously like the very first bit of the game, and if you can kind of picture like what a really Stone Age axe would look like with just a stick and basically rock on it, and I'm running around this little island that's like got 2 other inhabitants on it and like the family and stuff, and I was like, I'm just running around here with an axe. Does anybody else find this weird? Like I'm running around smacking trees with an axe, and
You're
I just
this
feel like I'm an
close
axe
to
murderer.
making this game Doom.
Yeah, basically, I was like, I just want to, like, I kind of wanna hit one of the things, but then you're kind of like, oh god, I've been playing too much Doom, and then I'd be like, nah.
See, now I'm the type of gamer that if I see an opportunity like that, I'm gonna try it just to see what happens.
Just give it a go.
Like I gotta
There's,
see.
like-
let me try. Thunk. Like okay,
It's
or the
like
game like
Uncharted-
won't let you.
2, Flynn? Uncharted 2, Flynn, when you have to partner up with him at the end, and you're like, what if I could just punch this guy because it's so annoying, and then you do, and if you do it twice, you have to start over, like, you die.
Yeah.
Game over.
And I was like, oh. Shit. Good to know. Good to
Resident
know.
Evil 4 kind of did the same thing with
Ashley.
oh god, no, Luis.
Oh right, Luis. Yeah.
Oh.
In the cabin.
Mhm.
You and him team up to fight while Ashley goes and hides. And if you shoot him enough times, you'll get a cutscene. He'll look at you like, "What the hell are you doing?" Pick up his gun and just shoot Leon.
Now,
And that's it. Game over.
that reminds me
I
of
kind
how
of appreciate those games.
there's the scene in The Last of Us when you're Ellie in the cabin with David, which is very reminiscent of that scene in Resident Evil 4 that Jess just mentioned.
Oh, is it?
It's the exact same setup.
Yeah,
Exact
pretty
same
much.
setup.
Yeah.
So now that makes me wonder, though, is what if you tried shooting David? Like, David,
That
you're
is
an
a good
asshole. Fuck
question.
you.
I
Yeah.
don't think anything happens.
I don't think you
Yeah,
can.
I think it,
Yeah.
No, I think you can, but also I just don't think anything happens. I don't think like friendly fire is in it. Not so.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
the
sure I
bullets
got
will probably just
stuck in
go
that part a
through.
couple of times and shot him just out of rage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did
Been there,
too. I got stuck there for an hour.
But Naughty Dog definitely stole that scene from Resident Evil 4, which Resident Evil 4 is easily like probably one of the best games ever made before.
Naughty Dog were loosely inspired by that scene. They didn't steal anything. It's technically not a
Not
thing to
loosely inspired.
steal. All right, very
Heavily inspired.
Heavily inspired.
Heavily. All right. With that, guys, I think it's time to wrap up the show. Just got a few
Yay.
things we need to put out there. First of all, if anyone's looking to follow you on socials, if there's anything you have going on right now that you'd like to promote, this is your chance to do so. So if you want to start with us, Kevin, is there anything you want to share, social medias, anything you want to promote, this is the time to do so.
If I'm going to promote anything, it's not going to be me. I'm very unexciting, but I do have another
Don't lie.
podcast.
I think you're.
I am vanilla as vanilla gets. But
Vanilla's an amazing flavor.
I love vanilla.
it's my favorite
classic.
flavor.
It's a classic.
But I do have a podcast. It's called All Pop, No Culture. It's me and 2 to 3 of my friends, and we talk about films and television and just current pop culture. One of the other guys on the show is a gamer. The other 2 are not. So once in a blue moon, we do talk about games. And yeah, we just like to have a good time. We're on all the podcast services. So if you look up All Pop, No Culture, you'll find us there. We're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. All those, you can just find us, look up All Pop, No Culture, and you'll find us, and we're there.
Awesome.
I will.
Yeah.
I believe I've already subscribed to your podcast. I just haven't had a chance to check it out, but I certainly will, sir. Is there anything else you wanted to put out there?
No, that's most of it. I'd tell anybody that starts listening, go ahead and start at the beginning. We're not so relevant that that you're missing anything if you're a little behind. We've been a little behind, especially with the outbreak and stuff. We've been, because we used to meet all in one place and record, and now we've kind of had to.
You have to do it like we do now.
To change our method. Yeah, exactly.
Welcome to our world.
We're figuring out Skype and things like that to make it more effective. Hopefully recording this week.
Well, if you need some help, obviously you see how we do this show. We can definitely help out a little bit or offer some support.
Yeah.
When he says we, he means Dan. Because I'm just here. Yeah, Dan is.
Pagan's just the poster girl to look pretty. She brings in the audience.
Yep.
I wish that were true.
Probably more than you think.
Oh.
Anywho. Jess, do you have anything you'd like to share or put out there?
No, honestly, I'm not a self-promoter, so
it's okay. No worries.
No problemo.
That is not a problem, sir. I just won't have anyone to tag when I post our show on Twitter. That's fine.
No, it's cool. Because we've had Janine on here before, and she has no socials as well, so we just call her Janine.
No socials.
Janine. Or no socials, Janine. Yeah.
It's all good.
There you go.
But now, anyone who listens to the show that might see you in the Retro Replay live chat, if you're ever in live chat, will have a better understanding of who you are.
Yeah. Woohoo!
They'd be like, hey, that was that guy. He likes this. I can talk to
him.
That was that guy on that podcast. Yeah.
That was that guy.
Well, you can find me on socials, I guess.
What about you, Pagan?
What about me? Oh, about me? Thanks. You can find me on socials.
Pagan.
Yeah, right. I feel like I need to change my Twitter name, but Twitter will not let me. But anyway, Twitter handle is Apple. I know, but then I'd lose everything, so nah. I'm just gonna leave it as
Twitter,
it is.
who dis?
Fine. Yeah, right. Not bothered. Honestly, I'm not bothered. I'd rather just How it is. You can search Pagan Plays on Twitter and it will come up. It will come up. If not, you can type Appleys2, APPELEYES 2, and that should come up with me at Pagan_plays on Twitter, at Pagan_plays on Twitch, where I'm streaming every Tuesday and Thursday nights. And GMT. So I don't know what that's morning, evening, noon in your time
To
zone.
help anybody out, GMT in Eastern Time right now because of daylight savings.
Yeah.
So let's say you stream at what 9 o'clock at
Say
night.
like 8 o'clock. Yeah.
Yeah, so 8 o'clock at night for her would be 4 p.m. for Eastern Time or 1 p.m. Pacific time.
PST.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
silly
Thanks.
daylight savings time.
There we go.
Yeah, that screwed me up because I almost would have missed this.
It screwed me up because I almost missed Retro Replay. Last week or the week before, I was streaming and someone was like, "Hey, I'm just gonna pop over to live chat," and I was like,
Like, huh, what?
"What? What do you mean it's odd? What?" And they're like, "Yeah, the episode's on at 11." I was like, "But why? Have they done something?" And they're like, "Daylight savings time." Like, we don't have that yet. Oh yeah, because you're all the way across the world. Yeah, I'm streaming every Tuesday and Thursdays. You can pop me out on Twitch. I also just wanted to add in, Troy Baker is now on Cameo. If anybody wants to hit that up. Obviously, due to all this kind of stuff, all the cons and shit have been canceled. So appearances from Troy and Nolan have been canceled, and Troy has decided to go on Cameo. If anybody wants an interaction, it is up there. Like, you can purchase something if you are interested in that. It's on Cameo app. You can download it for iPhone and Android. And I don't know, hit him up if you want a message. But that's me.
That's you. Plug in Troy.
Yeah. Well, it's
Aren't we
brand
all?
new news. Like, he did it today.
Yeah, it
I
was
found out
hours ago.
today. Yeah, so I feel like if people don't know about it,
It's
I'm sure they
relevant.
do now. But yeah, it's now on Cameo. If you'd like to go and have a chat with Troy, you can.
Sweet.
Mhm.
And lastly,
What about
if
you,
you
Dave?
want to find me, I go by Stark Evil Vash. It's just a goofy little handle that I came up with ages and ages ago. Stark Evil Vash on Xbox, PSN, Twitch, you name it, pretty much everything and everything, except for I am Stark E Vash. That's StarkyVash on Twitter. If you want to follow me and keep up with our show, which I usually post on Twitters. I also stream on Twitch, usually Wednesdays and Sundays. Sundays, we are doing our little morning show of Zombies and Coffee. We play Resident Evil and drink coffee. And then Wednesdays, we're trying to fill in the gap. And I'm trying to get through Resident Evil, but Wednesdays is kind of up in the air if and when we can play. But anyways, that's where you can find me. So last, I just want to do a little thank you and shout out to Drew, Nolan, Troy, and PJ, and all that you guys do over at Retro Replay, because without you guys, we wouldn't have our podcast here where we get to meet all our lovely replayers. And yay! Oh, the hearts. Lastly, you can leave us a voice message at the Replayer Podcast by clicking on the link in our show notes. Maybe we'll play it on the show if and when we ever get one. We hope you've enjoyed our podcast and would like to hear more from you guys. Please go ahead and like and subscribe, rate and review, and provide comments. If you have any suggestions or comments, you can always email us at thereplayerpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find us on Facebook and look forward to new episodes of the podcast every Wednesday.
Yay! Mostly.
No,
mostly.
Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Kevin, for joining us this week.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having us.
so much, guys.
Thank you,
It was
Pagan.
really lovely. You're welcome, Dan. Got you, buddy.
We did it.
Thank you so much, Jess. Thank you, Kevin.
And with that, it's game over, folks.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody.